for folks in the Nocturnal. So I just want to get right into this. After a 2-year hiatus, we are back with season 2. Alisha, what is the first thing you did to jump back into the role of Nicole? And Rome, where did you start with Tevin?
I feel like, Rome, that's an easier one for you maybe to answer.
Yeah, you want to think about yours a little bit?
Yeah. Let me think about that.
Not as hard for me, I would say. The character was, written in the comics. It's right in front of me. I also had, I had freedom to really try to develop certain aspects of the character that I wanted to bring. But approaching them initially, I'm like, I want to be a guy that is real. That's my goal in every character I play. I want to be a real person. And so I didn't want to get caught up in the whole aspect of having powers, being, super smart or leaning into any direction. I wanted to try to just be and just allow whatever's on the page to just materialize once we do the scene. And I think that translates, throughout the season. You didn't really feel like that you knew what exactly was going to happen with Tevin throughout the whole season.
Got it. Okay, so now I thought about it. So I would say I went to go watch season 1 and I actually turned it off because I was like, this feels like the past for Nicole. Like, I know 2 years have gone by. Like, I don't know that reliving season 1 would be super helpful. The second thing was that we have a new directing EP and he kind of set a little bit of a different like stylistic tone to the show, a little bit darker, a little bit more grown up, elevating as Dion's character is getting older. So a lot of my prep involved kind of like talking to producers and trying to find out how much is changing, how much is staying the same, and like, how different is Nicole after these 2 years. So it was like a lot more like, I would say collaborative this go around than maybe season 1. I like kind of did my own thing, but now I'm trying to like understand how Nicole fits into the story because, some of the tone, some of the elements are changing. So, yeah.
Right, completely. And just to add to that, it's not often that we even see a lot of Black superhero leads in a series. So can both of you describe what it's been like for you to be a part of this world that really showcases and gets into this theme?
I mean, I was in New Orleans like maybe a month after the show came out. And like New Orleans is predominantly like, I feel like I see more Black people there like I see in Atlanta. And like the number of people that were hyped about raising Dion was so beautiful to see. All the little kids being super excited. Their parents are coming up to me being like, is it okay? My daughter likes you, but she's afraid to talk to you, but she wants you to know that she saw you or whatever. And I was just like, this is so special. I think fans in general, if you're a fan of anything that I've done, that Rome's done, like you have a very, very special place in my heart because it's, you're what drive us to be able to make the show or make shows in general. But like having the I keep saying the youth, but it's like these little kids coming up and being super excited. It's like, this is the generation I want to inspire. And like, it just feels really heartwarming because I didn't really have a show like that when I was coming up. So I'm glad that I'm able to provide that for them now.
Yes. And Rome?
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing on so many levels, there's the aspect of it industry wise, where these stories really don't get told, specifically in this fashion. The representation is one thing, but the storytelling also complements it in this show. Because sometimes you get the representation, but the storyline is rooted in these characters dealing with trauma related to who they are and their color of their skin. And this show isn't about that. So I really feel like they did something special with the show because it's cool because you get to see Dion, who's a little boy and has these interests just like every other little boy. But he also has powers, and you get to see the dynamic between him and his mom, and a single, Black woman in America trying to figure it out, and she still has to deal with the normal shit that we have to do, which is find work. I gotta get a babysitter, you know what I mean? And so I love that they kept those aspects of the show, which I really think drives this uniqueness. And for me to be a part of a show like that, I was on a show before I really felt this passionate about, and I thought to myself, like, man, it's really rare to have that opportunity. And here we are again. Somebody's listening, because I'm like, damn, I don't want to do another show where I can't have that sense of purpose, because that's super important to me. And so doing this show and hopefully, inspiring the younger generation. I'm like, damn, when did I become a part? I'm the older generation.
We're
now.
old, man. We're old now. Come on.
You sure about that? Damn.
So great, so it's okay. All right.
So it's been hard for me. No, I'm kidding. No, but it's great. It's great, to be able to do the show.
And we love to see it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
How are you feeling today, Jason?
I'm feeling great. How are you feeling?
Great, thank you. So let's just get right into this. I came across some Twitter comments and viewers were shook from season 1's finale twist. In anticipation of season 2, what might they expect?
Oh boy. Well, I think they'll be surprised to see that certain people are back. Well, I guess I'm doing this interview, so I'm part of it. I come back, and I think a lot of people will be interested to hear what I have to say for myself after being such a interesting, horrible liar and murderer. But I think, I think it sort of picks up 2 years on from where we left off, and everything is kind of moved on to even more extreme elements, and the problems are not just within the family, but with the entire city of Atlanta now, and it's all kind of leveling up in a nice way.
We are ready for that level up. I mean, just to say, like, Pat started off as this really lovable but kind of geeky character, and in an interview, you actually said that you felt like I am him. So has this changed or kind of developed in any way since shooting season 1?
Yes, I would say. I mean, I think that one of the interesting things about Pat always is that he's, even at the beginning when he's likable, you see these little cracks and flaws, and there's just a little bit of jealousy, and there's a little bit of entitlement, there's a little bit of dissatisfaction with, even though he has this like dream job that his friend gave him, he still wants more. He has his issues. So I think it's fun to see how that, even though he also is dealing with this crooked energy and all these things, there are problems with Pat even without all of that, and he's doing his best. But
yes.
but it's interesting to have to start a new season in the show now that it's all been revealed what he has done, and no more secrets with all of the horrible, awful things that he has done. So even though he's coming back and saying, that wasn't all me, there was this, this energy had taken over and was making me do all these things. The energy wasn't making him lie to everybody. So right. There are certain elements that it's an interesting climb that Pat has to make. And, on one hand, it's good on him that he decided to make it. He could have just hidden away for the rest of his life and tried to, just keep his head down, but he had to step back in.
Very true. I agree. And I even think it's just amazing that Raising Dion started out as a concept movie, and then with crowdfunding, it grew into this really incredible show. What do you feel contributes to its success?
I think the human element really contributes to its success. Even though it's a superhero, there's powers and there's energy and there's all sorts of these things that we don't recognize in our day-to-day life. I think what people really respond to are the things that sort of ground it in our day-to-day life. We know what it's like to, grow up and not know how you're feeling and navigating that kind of stuff. And for parents, for single parents especially, the feelings of feeling ill-equipped to raise someone who's, there's no, especially for Nicole, there's no books, there's no support groups, there's nothing, how do you navigate this? But I think all parents have a feeling of being out of their depth in certain situations, like something's going on with your child emotionally and you're sort of at a loss. And I think watching Nicole sort of go through a lot of that is the thing that people really respond to. But I think there's a lot of elements that people come to. There are people who identified a lot with Nicole's sister's character, or I think there's a little something for everybody.
I agree. That human element is definitely something that everyone can kind of pull something from. And I know everyone's so excited to see season 2. Thank you so much for sitting down with us. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.